How awesome is this? The 1975, right there. Matt and Adam, show them some love. That was fantastic. What's it like to be so fantastic, man? You sing so smooth and so relaxed, and it's like draws people in. That's just awesome.
Oh, thanks. On that note, I was having a little bit of trouble there, Reed, actually. Can I have a bit more verb?
Reverb.
So that was my reaction to that.
Okay, yeah. Well, you know, I saw him warming up, and it was amazing watching Matt warm up because they were tweaking like a little reverb, and he could automatically hear it. It was like watching like a computer work.
No, that's that's him.
That's him?
That's him, yeah.
Well, Matt, I got a lot I want to talk to you about, but I do want to get some clarification because this is a story that I've heard, and I'm sure some of you have heard of it, but I don't know if it's truth or urban legend. And the only reason I'm bringing it up is because we're here in the Bay Area, and I know that the guys in Green Day are going to watch this. I heard that when you were 13, if you've never seen Green Day before, they always bring someone up on stage and they play and all this stuff. I heard that when you were 13, you were that kid that got pulled up on stage.
That's true.
That is true.
That is true. And then when I was so that was my first experience of anything like that. So I remember I was like with a group of guys who were way bigger, because you know that's going to happen if you go and see Green Day. So we were like at the barrier, and I had like a big group of dudes around me, and I was like, when they ask, you create like a pit, and I'll stand in the middle and just be like, ugh. And I got up, and it was amazing. It was like played to like 10,000 people when I was like 13. I was like, I'm gonna do that. And then remember like a month or so ago, we were at the Sunset Marquee in LA, and can I talk about it? Oh, it's not bad, but there was a smell coming out of our room.
Sure.
And then I opened the door, and it was Trey Cool from Green Day, and he was like, he wanted what was going on. He wanted to get involved, and I told him that story, and since then we kind of well, not become friends, but I mean I think it was, he knew who we were and didn't know that story. So I think that would be amazing for me, if like I literally pulled a kid out of the crowd and then they'd gone on to do music.
It's such an amazing story.
It's cool, yeah.
That I just had to confirm it because
it's
unbelievable. And so in a sense, I mean, you manifested a dream in a way. Like, where does that power come from? What's that drive? Like, to be a 13-year-old kid and be like, I'm doing this, and then fast forward.
Well, that was the thing. I was, music's always been a thing. It's not something that I got into when I was like a teenager because it was cool and I wanted to be in a band or whatever. It's literally been this all-consuming kind of thing for me since I was a kid. So by the time I was 13, I mean, the reason I went, because I could play drums, guitar, and bass well enough to do like a Green Day song.
Sure, who can't? Exactly.
So I was like, I'll play anything. Get me on the drums, get me on the guitar, get me on that. But no, I think that it was amazing. It was very, very lucky to be able to do that. I don't think it's directly representative of how driven I was as a young man. I was very fortunate to be there at that show. But it definitely, seeing 10,000 people in front of you from a stage is intense. It's a trip. It's still a trip.
Yeah. Is it as trippy when there's like 50 people?
It's a bit worse. It is, though. It's harder because the idea of the individual is a lot more apparent in a small group of people. And once you get over a certain amount of people, it becomes like a conglomerate. It's like a jellyfish effect. We call it, like when you're doing a festival, it's almost like you're talking to one person, because like, hey, and they're like, hey. As opposed to if I went, hey, you get like, hey. And you can see everybody's eyes. So that kind of still freaks me out, like, as a person.
Yeah.
You don't really get over. I've never really gotten over that.
Now, I want you to look in some of these eyes, and you'll see you'll see that they're welling up with tears. And I got to tell you, we gave away tickets to this intimate concert all week long, and I experienced something that I've been DJing for thousands of years. I'm like an ancient DJ, and I'm trying to. It's been a long, long time since I've seen this reaction where when I would say, "Yeah, you won," they would start crying on the phone.
Yeah, and like good crying though.
Like good crying, like cries of joy, yeah. And it's something that I've noticed, with you personally, and also with your fans, that I can't think of any place I've seen more people cry in public other than maybe a funeral.
Yeah, it's so morbid though, right?
Yeah.
I feel really responsible.
How does that make you feel? Like, how does that make you feel when you see people kind of just losing it emotionally? I mean, it's a great thing, but how does that impact you?
Oh, I mean, honestly, you get your it's kind of, obviously it's intense, as intense. The whole joke we make about having your own emotional baggage, and then we actually have emotional baggage. We have like letters and just stuff that we collect that from our fans, and all of it, a lot of it's quite intense. I could sit there every day and have my mind blown. I could sit there looking out the window of the venue and see every single person come in and be like, that's a person, they've got a whole life, like, they probably got babysitter. You can sit there and like trip yourself out, and you can sit there and read all the letters, and you can really, really invest in it. But one doesn't allow you don't really allow yourself to, because I can't have my mind blown every 20 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
So I don't take it for granted, and I appreciate it. And in the early days, it kind of me up, because sorry if I'm swearing.
That's okay.
But it kind of messed me up, because we struggled with this idea of, you know, being ambassadors for something that was really, really important to something, but brought out these emotions in people that therefore you're kind of responsible for, and then it's all a bit like, oh. So now I just kind of like, I think that we've spoken about this before, like, you feel a personal responsibility. When somebody like gives you a letter that means something, and it's all really obvious, it's kind of like, well, there you go. This is what it's like. Any pair of trousers I put on, there'll be some kind of letter of intensity. And
do you mind sharing that one?
I wouldn't, because this, you know, it's like, I wanted to write this letter to you guys to address how much you mean to me, and how the 1975 is such a huge part of my everyday life, and I've never felt so passionate about a band, and all this kind of thing. And they talk about her personal struggles with her dad and stuff like that. And it's like, I took that really personally for a long time. And you do take it personally. But now, so I felt a responsibility personally to, like, every time somebody told something, be like, almost like there for them, like a friend or something.
Sure.
And you can't do that, like, because it drives you mental, and it also sets a precedent that isn't really right, you know? There needs to be a certain removal from us. So I just take it really seriously, artistically. If I can take all of that and put it in the music, especially in the next record, that's where it really resonates. You know, there's no conversation that I've had with a fan that has resonated as much as, like, the song If I Believe You. You know, kids want to talk to me about atheism or about faith and stuff like that, and that song kind of resonates more than any kind of conversation that we ever have.
Awesome.
So I just try and put it in music.
I do have a suggestion for the group crying, though. You should get 1975 tissues and, like, pass them out.
That's actually a really good idea.
You know what I mean? Like, before you play, just be like, hey, you're going to need these. Take them.
I don't want to monetize, like, the real stuff.
You just brought up the new record, Music for Cars. I know everyone here, the news broke yesterday, and everyone's, you know, super, super excited about it. You dropped some hints in the previous months. What can you tell us about the new record?
Nothing.
Nothing yet?
I mean, I'll start talking about it when the time's right, because we're still in I Like It When You Sleep at the moment. We're still in this kind of era.
Sure.
I would say that people see, what I've noticed is that our fans see the time frame of this band in, like, eras, whether it be like the black and white era or the pink era or whatever. The thing that's interesting is that I've been watching this with the idea of people thinking it's kind of an unlimited presence that may or may not. But I've always known there was going to be 3 albums. And then after that, I don't know what's going to happen. But this will be the final installment of this whole time. You know, it's been a decade, and I've always wanted to do this. And then after this, you know, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's like a cliffhanger right there, man. I'm like on the edge of my seat. Well, we are excited for the new record. I do know that, you know, you said it was the kind of end of a trilogy, if you will.
It is, yeah.
You know, you're also a dude that never, I don't know, like, I read a quote from you saying that you want it to be as impactful as OK Computer from Radiohead. So I love the fact that you set the bar super high.
Yeah, for sure.
So to me, that's exciting.
It needs to be the ultimate 1975 record, especially if it's going to be kind of our swan song, at least for a while.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, with that, let's hear another song, man. I see her. She's getting all, what do you mean? My swan song, what?